Hello my stars, and welcome to movie night. Let's start. Knock knock. You hear soft steps coming closer from the inside of the house. You can't help but let a small smile loose on your face. Nobody was seeing you, so who cares, right? You've been looking forward to today for weeks now. You could allow yourself a little self-indulgence. The door squeaks open just in time so that you don't give away how giddy you are, which is a good amount of giddy. You quickly get a hold of yourself right when the door opens, that little much needed to let voices slip through. Who's there? You had to restrain a giggle as you replied. Pretty. Pretty who? Pretty nice of you to open the door for me. You hear a snort from the other side of the door before seeing it finally opening. Hey bud, how's it going? Always nice to see Sans' goofy face smiling at you. You hadn't seen him in what, weeks? Months? It will never fail to warm your heart. Except for now. Now it was failing. Even Sans' big old grin could do nothing against the air freezing your bones and biting your butt. I was about to think you'd never show up. You asked if he was falling asleep. Maybe. Yes. That didn't surprise you. Yeah, I would have probably done the same. And that's why I hang out with you. I'm not counting your pungent humor, of course. You really got my deep and absolute irrational love for naps. Oh, you do. You absolutely do. Best time for nap time is always right now. Papyrus does not share our view, but even the greats have flaws. When he knew you were coming, he ran outside shouting something about a surprise in the oven for you. Not his exact words, but I think you get the idea. The thought of Papyrus cooking specifically for you activates your fight or flight response. You freeze for a second, somehow associating the most rational thing to do with faking your death, because that is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Papyrus's cooking. Don't worry, just stick whatever it is in your pocket and then excuse yourself to the bathroom to flush it. Just try to look as if you're enjoying it, okay? Hold on, they have a bathroom? Where's the bathroom? You slowly nod and also raise the question, they have a bathroom? They need a bathroom? I mean, they are alive, so everything living does need to use the bathroom. Okay. Besides, I have enough chips and snacks to feed a skeleton for weeks. You may die of food poisoning, but damn, I guarantee you won't starve today. And don't even question about the bathroom part. It's not important. Well, that's kind of reassuring, and I guess it makes sense. Even skellies like to have clean bones. Come on, get in. Count shows better than standing outside. Besides, I don't freeze my bones off. You do. The warmth of the house is nice on your skin after the cold outside breeze, especially if you talked outside for no reason like idiots. That's not true. You have to have like a tiny conversation with someone. It's polite. You happily take off your coat and scarf, finally free from the suffocating clutches of a synthetic conscience. Sans lets gravity help him settle on the couch. He rests his pink slippers on the nearby table, maintaining eye contact, and you thank heavens Papyrus isn't there to see him. Otherwise, there'd be a long, endless lecture, and you'd have to stand there listening. Make yourself at home. He gestures to you in your heavy coat. If you were at home, you'd just throw it behind you as soon as you entered the door, but you figured it would be rude, so you just settle for the clothes hanger. You're no fun. You stick your tongue out at him. What? I can't just be an animal and drop my coat on the ground. Like I said, no fun. All you can do is to wish him a funny, happy life as the filthy animal as he is. He seems amused by your colorful insult. You wouldn't say it to be disappointed, but that's not really what insults are for. With a potty mouth, you dropped yourself on the couch close to Sans, but not too close. You need to know that you were pretending to be mad at him. This game doesn't end your way. He will never let you win this. Or try to win himself, for all that matter. But against everything you believe to know about the skeleton, he took it upon himself to break the silence, not sure if it was out of boredom or out of pure knowledge of your adversity to talk first. I mentioned Sans always does talk first when you meet him. When you meet him in, like, the entrance to Snowden, once you come out of the ruins, Sans is the first one to talk to you. You don't talk, so he always introduced himself first. So, you were thankful either way. I don't really know when Papyrus will be back. Could be minutes, could be hours, who knows. Great, more awkward silence. Bring it on, you thought. You'd already embarrassed yourself anyway. Did you really sink any lower? The answer was, and you knew it very well, that yes, you could, and will. So, do you want to wait for him, or... Because he's so cool, and because he already seen everything in the movie box, he said we could start without him, but we have to pause if we get to the good bits. He really doesn't want to miss those. I have no idea what the good bits are, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. You doubt that considering his cynicism towards movies, but whatever, in the worst case scenario, you could just turn off the TV as soon as you heard the door open. But on the other hand, you would feel guilty to start the movie already. You could peacefully wait in the uncomfortable silence, couldn't you? Wait for Papyrus. You're right, there's no movie night without my bro. His comments are half of the fun after all. You couldn't agree more. Listening to Papyrus yelling at the screen was most of the time more entertaining than the movie itself. So, let's wait then. He makes himself comfortable, pillowing his skull with his hands. Being made of hard bones, their level of comfiness was left unknown, since you never at all thought to ask him. And closes his eyes, choosing to patiently wait for the time to pass, rather than trying to kill it. Oh, come on, you better than anyone knew that the best time to nap is right now, but not right now, while you were on the couch with him. What the heck are you supposed to do while he's asleep? Actually, what are you supposed to do if he isn't asleep? There was an indefinite amount of time to wait ahead of both of you, and where both everything and absolutely nothing could happen, and both of them scared you to death. What were the two of you supposed to do? A staring contest? He didn't even have eyes and needed to blink, so what was even the point of doing a staring contest? Why don't you think through things beforehand like a normal functioning human being? Hey, I am a normal functioning human being. What do you do? We're gonna engage in a staring contest. Sure? Keeps him awake, doesn't it? Sans wins. You gave up after 11.5 seconds. You really don't know what you're expecting. Okay, in that case, let's ask him about his jobs. What a fun and entertaining conversation starter. You are very proud of yourself, aren't you? Everything's alright, I suppose. I mean, all of my 12 jobs keep me pretty busy, but it's not like I'm not used to it. On the other hand, I can slack pretty much whenever I want. Being a part-time job, it's not like they pay any less. Yeah, they can't pay you any less, I guess. But 12 jobs? 12 jobs? My god, Sans. Besides, I could never leave my hot dog stand. Could live there if I wanted to. True, and where else would we get our hot dogs from? Seriously, best place to sleep, eat, and sometimes make money. Everything a skeleton could ever desire. You laugh and ask him to bring you one of his hot dogs next time you two meet. Ah, sure thing. We also have hot cats, and just for a limited amount of time, hot bats. You blink in confusion, unsure if you hallucinated or dreamed that sentence. That's an original. Could be as big as a baseball bat or as small as an actual bat. As long as it's not an actual bat. What you get is purely casual. Clients don't seem too keen with the idea, but what can I do? As long as they pay it, they can think whatever they want. Well, in that case, is there anything else you could do? Well, everyone keeps telling me to put these diplomas to use. Sans has diplomas. It's a smart boy. Hold up, Sans has diplomas with an S? He has more than one? He seems to notice your surprise. Not sure what led him on to your confusion. What led him on to it? Maybe it was your confused blinking or your monotone. You know, in the underground there really wasn't much to do, and I had a lot of time on my hands. I'm not even sure the stuff I graduated in are worth something on the surface. Humans seem more interested in science instead of magic. Which are kind of the same thing anyway. Dang, you wish you knew magic. You could do all sorts of amazing things. Fly, instead of walking, materialize, cook meals, pick up the remote without needing to get up. That's it. That's all you have to think of. What do you mean? There's an endless amount of possibilities I can think of. You know, like being able to make stars appear wherever you want. It'd be cool. So then down in the underground, they wouldn't just have stars in the ceiling. They could actually have real stars. You know, there's like an endless amount of possibilities of what you could do if you had magic transformation. Like, so much stuff. Come on, you have to be more creative than this. Come on. Still, a really good use of magic, in your opinion. From what I got, I could do some easy level science jobs, but being in the lab all day wearing an uglier version of a trench coat was never my cup of tea. You could also be Doctor Who if you wanted. Sure, it would pay the bills, but whatever. Gotta do what you love, right? Or what you can tolerate more. Either way works just fine. Always worked for me. Been a good strategy since the underground. Did a little of everything there too. Sold hot dogs, worked in shops, watched out for newcomers. That was my favorite. I was basically paid to sleep in the woods. Just like selling hot dogs without hot dogs. You questioned his hot dog selling methods. Well, my methods never failed me up until now. Apparently humans don't like to buy stuff from sleeping salesmen. And I thought life up here would have been easier. But you got taxed and a bunch of laws to follow here. We didn't have those in the underground, that's for sure. How did they survive all cramped in that hole together? Surely you don't think that it's just a straight drop down, they just live in a hole, right? It's a mountain. There's a cave system. Surely you know about cave systems. Mountains aren't like solid, just complete rock. A lot of them have cave systems. Just play freaking Minecraft. My goodness. Did they have borderline unofficial rules? They just agreed to not damage each other? That surprisingly worked. Because they're better than humans, look. They're more peaceful. You can't help but think how humans can only see a society like that, like an utopia, unrealizable dream. For the first time you realize how different your lives had been up until now. Well, yeah, up here, I mean, there's conflict all the time. All the monsters just agreed to get along, and there was, you know, they have time down there. Sans must have been very surprised when he learned about wars and stuff up here. It must come as a real shock. It like turns on the news. There's a war going on here. There's a food crisis over here. People don't get along, and there's bad stuff happening here and here. And he'd be like, you know what? Let's just all go back in the underground. It's safer down there. We only have to deal with one kid. Like, the only thing they really had to worry about was the one child. And of course, the really peeved off Flower. They weren't just underground. They were on a completely different plane of existence for what matters. They hadn't had contact with the outside world in millenniums. That had mattered something in how they lived, right? Yeah, but they kind of did get to have some type of contact from the outside world via the junkyard, because stuff would fall down and they would learn stuff through that. You know, they also had phones and Wi-Fi. Sure, they couldn't connect up to the humans, but, you know, they still technically had a way of, like, interacting with the outside world. Maybe not properly, but they still learned from the outside world. So they're not, like, completely oblivious. All those years of not acknowledging one another surely brought the two species to different paths. It's weird how people still have to address this. No one really questioned them, they just kind of popped out of nowhere and that was it. Well, yeah, because modern day people probably wouldn't question seeing the monster. They'd be like, oh, it's probably CJ, it's probably a robot, it's probably cosplay. It's, you know, we're learning to accept each other for our differences. Our differences make us strong and unique. No cultural exchanges, no books or movies about the epic tale. Everyone just shrugs it off at some point. Let's see. Well, in that case, why not tell me more about the underground? Shit, you shouldn't have asked that. That must have been a touchy topic. What made you think it was acceptable to ask about the time he was imprisoned? You quickly tried to apologize, but he interrupts you. Don't worry, it's fine. I just don't exactly know what to tell you. It was really a small and suffocating place, but nice in a way. I didn't think it was that small. You guys got a freaking castle underground with a lake. And you had ceiling stars. Then you had waterfall. You literally had this gorgeous waterfall. You even have Temi Village. You literally have snow underground where it makes no sense how snow didn't even exist down there. I didn't know. Everyone knows each other. We built a nice community with nice people, so it wasn't so bad. I had good company, but yeah, there wasn't much to do, so the days kind of went by without much notice. Until the kids showed up. They were pretty much identical to one another. When did I eat that burger? Today? Yesterday? Don't know. It doesn't matter because I eat burgers every day. Kind of chaotic, actually. There weren't days or nights like up here. I think at one point they tried to make a sun, but it was just too much effort, and for what, really? Not my business what everybody else is doing at that time of the day. People sleep when they are sleepy and eat when they were hungry. Everyone just did their thing and went on with their lives, I guess. Without thinking, you asked about the things he did. Told you, study stuff, took a piece of paper to prove I studied stuff. That much that didn't make me from die of boredom. I wasn't really keen with the thought of doing things, you know? Pops, on the other hand, he was like a really go-getter. He had a lot of energy to burn. Once I started running for fun. I mean, like, who does that? What's so fun about it? And it was probably like the 100th time I'd seen it, and it was just the 100th part of his full potential. Really, I don't think I ever saw him get 4 hours of sleep all in one go. So wait, so when Sans would read him Fluffy Bunny, he didn't sleep for that long in the car bed? I'm surprised. Just watching it was exhausting, but also kind of fun. To see what a hopeful soul could do. I really do like the way Sans addresses Papyrus as like a hopeful soul, because that's why he kind of protects it, because Papyrus is hopeful. It's also why Dai protects Papyrus so much, because he doesn't give up. He's got that... There's something about Papyrus. He embodies that childlike innocence part and just that, like, trusting naivety. It's like a breath of fresh air. Let's see. Weren't you hopeful? You felt guilty. Would you be hopeful in a situation like that? The music is going away. Buddy, I don't think you realize how it was to be down there. That's right, you didn't know, and maybe you never will, but you want to try to understand what they've been through, what he'd been through, to relate, even just a little. Is this selfish? No, it's okay to try and understand to help him. Days were the same, over and over and over again, blending into one another at the point where you're not even sure if you ate yesterday or 2 hours ago. I got so used to it, I didn't even know if I wanted it to change anymore. I was just waiting for God only knows what. After a while, you just give up trying to have a say in the matter and just accept what happens, you know? Is it really so bad to just passively wait for things to settle on their own? Well, no, because that just means you were, like, really hopeful that maybe if you ignored it or just let it sort itself out, that it would turn out to be okay. There's nothing wrong in that, because that also shows that he was fearful. You didn't reply. His eyes avoided yours. He wasn't talking to you anymore. Maybe he just needed to let some stuff loose, so you let him. Things were as they were, and I couldn't change them. I tried and tried, but after a while you get tired, or lazy. Doesn't really matter. And when things did change, well, that wasn't always a good thing. Most of the time, it wasn't. Hell if I knew what was even good anymore. I don't even remember how it was before it all happened. It's been like that as far as I remembered. What was even the point of trying to change? All I knew was that I didn't care. Not enough. Not about being underground. Not about not being underground. But you're not there anymore, Sans. It's okay. He's not there anymore. Maybe it's not much, and maybe he never will get over what... Let's see. Maybe it's not much, and maybe he never gets over what was or was not the underground. But he's not there anymore, and that's progress. He's been through it, and he survived. There's something worth celebrating. It's not always easy to understand where you are. Things are blurry and foggy, and you're not quite sure where you're going most of the time. But once you get there, it's easier to understand where you've been. You can look back and see how far you've come. And even if that thought won't fix everything, it's still one reason to keep going forward. Even if you don't know where forward is yet. You tell it to Sans. Yeah, you just take it one step at a time. And regardless of what happened in the past, you learn from it and you move forward. It's scary. We're scared of the unknown. A lot of us are kind of scared as well growing up because things change. And it's sometimes out of our control. But we still keep moving forward every second of the day. Even as I talk, the seconds are ticking away. But we still keep going forward. And the choices and decisions we make affect the future for us. We don't know in what way yet, but we still keep moving forward. That's a part of life. It's so nice of Sans to be able to talk and open up a bit, but I can see why he's feeling this way. We can understand. Obviously, our character in this does not understand what Sans has gone through. But that fear, that his reasoning for what he does. Oh, poor Sans. He looks surprised, confused even, like he wasn't expecting you to respond to that. Maybe he just now realized you were listening. You closed the distance between the two of you with a hug. There wasn't really a reason to justify your action. He just looks like someone who might need one. What are you talking about? Everything he said gives you a reason to hug him. He is passively resting on your shoulder, like a limp doll, accepting the hug but not fully participating in it. You can't see his face, but you feel like his smile is not there anymore. You start to regret this. Maybe this isn't a good idea. He didn't ask you to hug him. Why did you do that? Why couldn't you just listen and let him vent? Because sometimes actions speak louder than words, and when someone is venting, sometimes you can tell from their tone or like what they're saying that deep down they want some type of, comfort. And a hug is a simple way of giving that. You're reacting this way because you care, and that is clear in your actions. You want to be there for him and help him if he needs you, or anyone to listen to him. Thank you. He leans his face into the crotch of your neck. It's not like I don't try. I know. To change, I mean. It's just hard. After all the times, I don't even know how it is to care for something anymore. He pauses for a moment, like trying to shut down the everlasting buzz of his brain. But Pops and you are here for me. And I guess caring for something is not something so impossible anymore. But what do I know about any of this? Don't mind my rambling. You hug him a bit tighter. You didn't realize he was hugging you back. Oh. You stay like that for a while, enjoying the warmth. You are secretly stealing one another in perfect harmony so that when what is taken is immediately given back. As you idly run your hand on the back of his jacket, he becomes more and more heavy on your shoulder until you feel his breathing become heavy. But now you've stopped questioning about skeleton anatomy. You just enjoy the moment, the weight on your shoulder, the tingling warmth rising from his chest, and the faint snoring in your left ear, accompanying your thoughts. Not that you're thinking about anything in particular. As of right now, things are fine. Just fine. Maybe it was you who needed a hug all along. Maybe you both did, and just had the luck to find each other to fulfill that common need. It doesn't really matter. You feel happy. That is enough for you. And with that thought, you peacefully drift off to sleep. Papyrus would wake you up when he got home, right? Oh, Sans woke up. Oh. It was hard for him to open up, but he really needed this. When he came home, Papyrus snapped a few pictures, wrapped you with a blanket, and let you sleep. Oh, such a good big brother. A good brother. He's baby brother, not big brother, my god. You would have given both of you goodnight kisses, but as you'd recall, he doesn't have lips. In the morning, you woke up on that same couch with the smell of freshly baked waffles. Santa's hands still clutching your shirt. Aww. Ending a bittersweet evening. Aww. Now, this ending here hits so much more differently than all the others because this one directly will hit those that played Undertale. Because when it comes to the story, we know what Sans has been through. We know exactly what he's talking about. Even though the character in this has no clue, but they still try to understand. But we, as the player, know exactly what he's talking about. And this is kind of our way of giving him a hug at last, to say, it's okay. It's over, Sans. You're not going back there. You can, hope again. You are allowed to feel these things. Sure, the stuff in the past is never gonna go away and that fear is gonna be there. But you're here. You're here and now in that moment. And just take it one step at a time until eventually you come to accept that this is your reality, that this is real. It's not going to disappear in a moment for you. Oh, gosh, poor Sans. I could just sit here listening to this for ages and just looking at this. Oh. He really appreciated it though, and he needed to hear all that stuff after everything he's been through. Stuff that he's balled up. Oh, poor Sans. Well, let's head off to find another ending, shall we? Oh boy, I'm gonna remember this one for ages. Poor Sans.